Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah. I'm looking forward to today's show. We've got a lot on the agenda. We're talking about construction and remodeling today. We're going to hear about National Drug Take Back Day. That's later in the show. Right now, if you've never been to Madison Sourdough, they're on Willie Street, you may have had their pastries and breads because they distribute to lots of restaurants around the Madison area. Right now, I'm joined by David Lorenz, who is the co-owner of Madison Sourdough, and I'm so pleased to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
So we're going to learn a little bit about Madison Sourdough, and first of all, give us kind of the big picture. Who is Madison Sourdough?
Madison Sourdough started out as just a sourdough bread company, but in recent years we have branched out. We do other types of bread. We also have started doing pastries and desserts like our French-style macarons. We distribute to over 100 places here in the local area. So we have a really robust wholesale department as well, and our cafe is just going gangbusters on Williamson Street. Our breakfast sandwich was awarded the best sandwich in Madison, and it continues to grow every year. So we're doing really well with all phases of the.
Absolutely impressive, and congratulations on winning that award. That's an exciting accomplishment. Along with, I mean, the distribution throughout the Madison area is incredible. So you're in restaurants, grocery stores, and coffee shops throughout Madison, as well as obviously having a successful cafe. So you guys are busy folks.
We are busy.
Talk to viewers at home if they're not familiar with Madison Sourdough or haven't been to your location. What do you think makes it particularly special?
Well, the sourdough that we do is really unique because it's our central focus. A lot of places that do sourdough put yeast in it, and then it's maybe an add-on to all this other stuff that isn't the central part. But our whole bakery is focused on sourdough, so we have a robust starter. We do it really well, and it makes our breads just fantastic because you've got this wild yeast and lactobacilli in the sourdough starter, and they transform the dough into something that's easier for your body to assimilate. Our humans throughout our history have been with those organisms, and they seem to work well together. And so after the sourdough does their thing, it's easier for us to accommodate that bread.
Wow, okay, interesting. So there's some science behind it.
There's science, but there's an art as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I read that it actually takes, from start to finish, about 36 hours to complete a loaf of bread.
Ours is even longer than that. Ours
Wow.
is more like more than 2 days from start to finish.
That's really incredible. So what do you think, you've shared sort of what's special about sourdough in particular, but there's a lot of folks out there that are in the food industry in Madison. I think it's a very food-oriented community. What do you like particularly about running a food business?
Well, you know, the farm-to-table movement has been going strong for a whole generation in Madison, and that really, for those of us that are coming along as the second generation, it really puts us in a great position because we get to stand on the shoulders of all those people who've laid the foundation for that. And when they started with it back in the 80s, you didn't have nearly as many local suppliers, and now there are hundreds of little small-scale vegetable farms and producers that sell at markets and direct to restaurants. So there's this whole network that makes it much easier, and you've also got a whole generation of consumers who are looking for really high-quality local food. So it really gives us an advantage that people didn't have 30 years ago when they were starting to do that.
It's so nice that this industry is growing for folks out there, for people to be able to get that farm-to-table experience. It's more accessible, and I think that's wonderful. And in the minute that we have left or so, share with us how your company in particular has really grown over the last 7 years.
Well, we have more than quadrupled in the last 7 years, and every part of our business continues to grow faster and faster. Our bread sales so far this year are up 30% from a year ago. So
wow.
we've added about 35 people since 7 years ago, and we see a lot of growth in the future as we get into milling. And we're now, a year ago we purchased a mill, and we're making our own flour from locally produced grains that are the kind of grains that our great-grandparents would have purchased, not the grains that have been developed for big agribusiness. So we're really excited to see where that's going to go.
Well, congratulations on your growth. And you have something exciting coming soon. I want to make sure you share.
Well, that's the mill. We're going to be selling that flour direct to consumers by this summer. So that'll be perfect for people who are home bakers, who are looking for flour that is above and beyond and is locally grown, locally milled flour.
Well, thank you for sharing that, David. David Lorenz with Madison Sourdough. Thanks for being here.
All right, thanks.
When we return, if you like working with our hands, we're learning about construction, so stick around.